This is fine. This is a poor substitute for therapy, but an excellent substitute for other podcasts.
We're not like other podcasts.
Join us as we find the answers to the universe's biggest questions like, is butter a carb? Does crying burn calories? And what the fuck am I doing with my life? We're here to be your part-time therapist, astrologer, concierge doctor, and fairy godmother. Do you need someone to validate you today? Cool. Come on in. We're fine. This is fine. Today's episode is brought to you by Picnic Health. If you're someone who regularly sees the inside of a doctor's office and you need a little help keeping all your records straight, or you aspire to be the kind of person who gets an annual physical, has a dermatologist, and is on top of all their medical shit, Picnic Health is your ultimate resource for your entire health history. Picnic Health allows you to take ownership over your health and to easily access every single record, lab result, scan, and more, down to the doctor's notes. Trust me, I've seen mine. Navigating healthcare can be scary and intimidating, but Picnic Health makes it so much easier. You also have the option to anonymously and securely contribute to health research that's working toward finding cures for over a dozen diseases, which also makes your membership totally free. $0 a month free. To learn more about owning your health, visit picnichealth.com, picnichealth.com. Hello, everyone, and welcome back. This is your captain speaking, Dominique, and we are rockin' and a-rollin' through summertime. I hope everyone is applying and reapplying their SPF, spending some more time outside safely soaking up the sun, getting those hot girl walks in. If not, maybe carve out some time right now. You can take me with you. I'll go on that hot girl walk. Quick check-in. How are you feeling? How are things with your mental health, your finances, your relationships? What about your home life, your projects, and your work? What about your physical health and your fitness? And lastly, how are you doing with your confidence levels and insecurities? Did any of my questions right now just bring any of that up? Today, I have brought in someone to give you the pep talk of a lifetime. All of us, regardless of age, gender, background, economic status, career status, whatever, all of us deal with insecurities. And there are certain things in life that trigger those insecurities from time to time. Yet, in order for us to live more happily, to live with that feeling of freedom, liberation, levity, radiance, insert feel-good adjective here, it is so important to learn how to overcome or at least integrate those feelings of insecurity and step into our most confident selves. Do I sound like an inspirational cat poster? Maybe a little bit. To help us with all of this, I invited certified confidence and mindset coach, one hell of a title, Jenny Gaither, founder of Brave Babe Confidence and Mindset Coaching. She's the host of the podcast Dive Deep with Jenny. You may already know her as a former master soul cycle instructor, creator of the Movement Foundation, and she's a competitive dancer to boot. I became friends with Jenny when we both lived in San Francisco. I used to aggressively ride front row in her marina class. Shout out to anyone who's in those classes, front row. She fundamentally changed my confidence level and my feelings about my body. Thanks to Jenny, I now have the unbridled audacity to wear sports bras willy-nilly in public, regardless of setting. Thank you, Jenny. From that point onward, she's been a massive inspiration to me. From afar, when she lived in New York, and now she's in San Diego, so I'm obviously so thrilled and so grateful to have her here in my hometown. I don't think it's a stretch to say that virtually all of us have asked at one point, how do I become more confident? So that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. Welcome, Jenny. We are so happy you're here with us. Thank you for coming down to the studio in your new hometown.
I could not be happier to be here.
Yay!
In this beautiful city that is now mine.
It's your home.
It's so beautiful.
You're a local. You've been to Better Buzz.
I've been to Better Buzz.
You've gone on all the little trail walks, Torrey Pines.
Oh my gosh. I
so beautiful.
thought I was going for a walk and I ended up on a mountain.
A mountain trail, yes.
I was like, there are mountains here? Like what?
Yeah, like sheer cliffs.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here. So listeners, we were just talking offline, off mic, I don't know, about how we haven't seen each other in person in roughly 4 years. It's
crazy.
Been a long time. We've been friends for a long time, and it's been a while since we have been in the same physical space. Jenny just moved from New York to San Diego, and this is the first real big conversation we've had. So thanks for joining this wild ride. Buckle up. It's going to be a fun one. I'm
seriously so ready.
Yes.
I'm on the edge of my seat.
Yeah, literally, though, because we have to have good posture with the microphones.
I know. I'm sitting so tall right now.
It's like piano posture.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, well, first things first, are you fine? How are you? What's going on in your world?
Am I fine? That's a great question.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. So what's so interesting about the 4 years 4 years?
Yeah, I think so.
That we've
you moved in 2018, right?
Yeah, I think
same.
so.
Yeah, I left like that spring.
Yeah. The world has completely changed since I've seen you. So it's very like, where do we even start? Because it's just so much has changed. But for me personally, this past year has been the biggest life changing, altering, emotionally, I don't know. I just feel like I've had what my friend and I joke that we've gone through a rebirth.
Yeah, a renaissance.
Yes, and
a
like we're
Jenny-sance.
little baby embryos coming, like we're like little cocoon. We're in our cocoons coming out. Because we used to joke like that we were old ladies because I'm an old soul.
Yeah, absolutely you are.
And then I was like, wait, I think this is actually manifesting in me like getting sick and all the time and like my body shutting down. So now I'm like, I'm young. I'm like this new butterfly.
Yes,
and
you're
I'm
a baby
ready
butterfly.
to go.
Oh, I love that so much. You know how I feel about butterflies in general. I am going to call it your Jennaissance. Jenny-sance.
Jennaissance. I love that for me.
I do too. This is your rebirth. I'm going to join you. I want to be in a renaissance, a Jenny-sance, a Dami-sance. I don't know. I've taken it too far. I've officially taken it too far. So the answer to am I fine is kind of, yeah.
To be continued.
Yeah, TBD. I think that's kind of all the time, right? Like we're both fine and not fine at the same time.
Yeah, I think that what I've realized more recently at 34, moving to San Diego, starting my own, running my own business, coaching business full-time for the first time, paying for my health insurance.
Mm-hmm. It's fun, isn't it?
Like reevaluating my life as a single woman. Like, do I want a dog or do I want a baby? Like, I don't know. Do I want to live in America? Do I want to move to France. Australia? Like, it's just life is so interesting because our generation is the complete opposite than our parents.
Yeah, it's true.
We've prioritized freedom and flexibility over stability.
Yeah.
And I don't regret that one bit. But now that the world has totally caught on fire in more ways than anyone could have ever imagined.
Yeah.
All I want is stability. Yeah. And I just want to be like coddled and like held.
You just want to be
like
held.
A baby.
Yes.
Like I do.
Yeah.
Like I really do.
Have you read Glennon Doyle's, what is it? The book with like all the rainbow on the outside. Is it Untamed?
I've read Untamed.
That's what I'm talking about, right? It's like rainbow and sparkles on the outside.
Yeah,
That's what I remember from this book. Free yet held. That is like the most succinct way to put it. And I think about this all the time. You want to feel free yet held. I sometimes talk about this like a balloon with a paperweight, like the little anchor. So you can like fly around, but then you've got that little bit of stability, the balance of the two, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's the Libra in me too.
Yeah, that's my Libra moon.
Yeah. So I find, you're a Libra moon?
Yeah, girl.
Shook. Do you see my eyes?
Yeah, I did
shook.
in real time. So, we've got the vibe.
I knew we were like connected on some level,
it's
soul
at that
level.
point. It's the moon sun conjunction.
Yeah, it's the scale
in
moon.
our synastry. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we got it there. It's the people pleasing, indecisive, need balance, everything's beautiful and aesthetic Libra vibe, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's me.
Somehow every episode has come back to astrology so far.
Wow. I mean, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised.
Especially because it's me and I am annoying. It's totally fine.
I wish I knew more, but I pretend I know a lot. All I know is Kim K is also a Libra.
She is a Libra, yeah.
And I find that we have a lot of similarities.
This is fine.
And no one ever.
Oh my God. Okay. So jumping right on in, from your transition from fitness, okay, so like soul cycle, training, movement, literally like movement foundation, into more of the mental health realm, Brave Babe. Can you walk us through that?
Yeah. So I find that my whole career, from studying dance in college to moving to New York City to pursue this professional career in dance that was my dream since I was 7 years old. Like I was that kid that was always clear, like loved the question, what are you going to be when you grow up? I'm going to be a dancer.
Yes.
Like I always knew what I wanted. And I find that that's something I've like feel as a gift.
Yes. And it's rare.
It's rare. I would find like my friends would get so frustrated and not have that clarity, and I wouldn't know what to tell them. And when I got to New York and I quit dancing because I had an eating disorder, it was like, oh my God, now what? Like my whole life I've been working towards this exact moment and I don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
Like what?
That's devastating.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
And so when I fell into fitness, it was just like a transition, figure out your life and teach cycling because, you got to make some cash.
Yeah.
And then
got to pay the bills.
Yeah. And I fell in love with coaching, I think is what it is. Like motivating people to see something that they can't see in themselves or something that they've felt in themselves before and have lost.
Yeah.
And that is what I fell in love with about teaching, is just really giving people this very different perspective on their life, helping them think differently, but also finding like a crazy sense of power that they may have not known that's there.
Yeah.
And so that's what I loved about teaching at SoulCycle. And then that empowered me to start Movement Foundation in a way, because that power as a woman is, especially at that time, which was like 2012, was kind of like unheard of. Like women were supposed to be like weefy and thin and
dainty.
Yeah. Like simple and easygoing.
Yeah.
If I see that on a Hinge profile one more time, I swear on my life, I'm like, no, I'm not going to be easygoing for you. I'm going to do what I want to do.
I'm just myself.
I'm just myself. Like, I'm not trying to be like an annoyance. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally. Like, I think we're all like coming to terms with our own definition of femininity now.
Yeah. And like high maintenance, low maintenance. Like,
yeah.
I used to pride myself on being like super low maintenance.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, no, I'm super high maintenance. And I'm really proud of that.
And that's fine. Yeah.
Because it just means I care about myself.
Yeah. We're not trying to be a pick-me right now. We're just like being authentic. Like, it's okay if you have needs and boundaries and desires. Totally. You don't have to be ashamed of any of those things.
Totally. So, I found that as a woman, it was just so not talked about. Like this feeling of being strong and feeling of empowerment and balancing masculinity and femininity and feeling comfortable with both.
Right.
And feeling comfortable being commanding and assertive and a boss. And so that's how I started Movement Foundation. I really wanted to take, that same sort of vision of helping people see this maybe potential that they never saw before. And during the pandemic, though, like a lot shifted for me. I taught at SoulCycle for 11 years.
Yeah, you did.
And a lot of wear and tear on my body.
Yeah.
And then I was a professional dancer.
I was going to say, after being a dancer for so long and then putting all the extra strain, how are you like physically feeling now?
I don't move that often anymore.
Okay.
And I thought that was a really good thing because it was honestly what my body was craving. Mm-hmm. And I really try to just listen to my body and what it needs. But now I think I need a little more structure to ensure that I am moving. Like I love walking.
Yeah.
The hot girl walk, is that the TikTok thing?
It is the hot girl walk. I talk about this all the time. And especially like, so you remember when I was in San Francisco, I was taking your class and Luigi's class and Natalie's class in the same day. Or I would go to Barry's twice and then hot yoga and like working out 3 times a day. I wasn't an instructor. I wasn't making money. I was actually losing money doing that. Mm-hmm. But I thought I had to be working out all the time. And then coming down here and like slowing my life down, it changed everything physically, mentally, like doing Pilates a few times a week, like beautiful, slow, like juicy, lovely movement, very dancer-esque, but I still felt strong and empowered. And then walks, obviously like getting a dog helped with that significantly, but just getting out and moving for walks and like switching to low impact. Yes. Not that, SoulCycle wasn't high impact, but it's still a pretty gnarly workout.
Really? Yeah, it really, really was or is. But I totally relate to that. I've been only drawn to really soft, gentle movement. Yeah. Like slow yoga.
Yep.
Warm yoga. Like I just, again, like want to be like a little baby.
A little baby swaddled. Just like held. It's a good season. Yeah. It's a soft season.
It's a really soft season. Yeah. Which for me is so new.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I have hard edges.
Yeah.
So it's like very interesting to like.
You were a lot of like yin energy for a while, right? Like really active, really out. And now it's kind of like that. Is it yang or yang? I don't know how to say it correctly, but I'm going to pretend I do. But like, yeah, just kind of like down and in a little bit more versus like up and out.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like internal dialogue around that where like conflict of like, you know, the stories of, am I being lazy? Am I depressed?
Right.
Am I unmotivated? You know, just questioning that it's wrong just because it's different.
Just because we're slowing down, right? And we're so used to this like, not to like be the capitalism hater yet again, but, you know, hyper-capitalistic, hyper-productive, you know, go, go, go.
Hustle culture.
Yeah, hustle culture, girl boss culture, eat at your desk, go, 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 go. Work out 75 times a day. Like, you know, doing anything other than that feels like you're doing something wrong.
It really does. Yeah. And so I work with women now through my coaching, and I find that that's like one of the biggest things that comes up is this constant fear that they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing and that their path is wrong, or like there's just this constant guilt or fear or anxiety that they're in the wrong place, wrong time, the wrong partner or house or job, and it's just this constant questioning of themselves.
We doubt ourselves so much. Why? Please have the existential answer for me now.
I find that a lot of millennial women have lost their moral compass along the way. And I say this just from experience from myself, listening to my friends, also
clients,
coaching. Yeah. So I think it's a lack of a moral compass or just a disconnection from it and this outsourcing of what to do with my life or know what the right answer is by looking at what other people have chosen to do on Instagram or just looking outside of themselves for these answers.
For that pointing north versus the internal.
Yeah. And also not allowing the discomfort of not knowing and just trusting yourself. And that takes, I feel like there's so many different types of strengths, right? There's physical strength, emotional strength, mental strength. And then I feel like there's like this type of strength to know that you have all of these options, but to feel that one is the right one.
Like wisdom.
A wisdom, a like chi.
Yeah.
Like a...
that innate energy.
Like a Yoda-ness.
Your Yoda intelligence.
Yeah. Very big Star Wars fan over here. No, seriously.
You're in the right place. Like, this is the environment for you.
I love you so much.
Love you.
Yeah, that you know what it is. It's not... I feel like a lot of people get that little whisper, but it's that you act on it, especially when the gremlins come out.
Yeah.
Telling you...
the force.
that it's probably wrong. You're probably going to make the wrong choice.
Yeah, totally. That's so interesting to think like we've externalized so much that we've lost that internal navigator, right? Like our internal GPS. I feel like that's a very Abraham Hicks. I don't know if you're into any Abraham Hicks, like the very spiritual, like manifestations. Oh, girl, you're going to love this.
Yeah.
I'm going to, if Shannon is listening right now, she gave me my first set of CDs like years ago when I first met her of The Art of Allowing. And I'm going to bequeath that to you.
Oh my gosh,
this afternoon. I don't know if you have a CD player. Mine was in my car.
I don't, but I can definitely find one on eBay.
We'll figure it out. Let's just get you a book. Anyway, sort of derailed a little bit. But we're kind of like, I guess, circle back into your coaching. You are taking all of this and putting it into your coaching. Can you talk about beginning Brave Babe, this new business?
Yeah. So just to like reverse back, I met you, Dom, in San Francisco. But then I ended up moving back to New York. And the reason I moved back to New York was I wanted to figure out what I wanted to do with my life after SoulCycle. Like I knew how taxing it was as a job. And I also, after 11 years, wanted to really push myself.
Yeah.
It's easy to stay comfortable. I could have stayed forever, honestly.
We love being comfortable.
I love, yeah. And I just knew, again, little whisper, that it was time to push myself in such bigger ways and that I know I'm meant to reach more people and do more. in a different capacity and sort of like outfit, you
Yeah.
know, like costume. So,
But still Lululemon. Like,
yeah, no,
still in my yoga pants.
No, it's like full sweatsuit now. It's not like
Absolutely.
spandex at all anymore.
No.
I think I threw it all out. To
oh
be
my
honest.
God.
I was like, burn it.
I'm so over this.
It smells.
R.I.P. My entire wardrobe.
Yeah. Sorry if that was gross, but apologies.
Don't worry, there's an upcoming episode about poop, so like you're totally fine.
Gosh. Okay, so I'm in good company.
You're definitely not the grossest.
Yeah, so it's funny because when I moved back to New York, I was having what I thought I was doing was I thought I was having coffee with a friend. And little did I know that she was pitching me to be her client, and she's a business coach.
Oh, dang.
And by the end, I had like signed on to be like her one-on-one client. And it was sort of like this serendipitous, like, did you just school me like that? Like, wait, did that just really happen? But also very excited, and it felt very aligned. And so I think that was where my vision was going. Again, like taking this concept of just changing the venue, but it's like the same.
Like the medium. Yeah,
the medium. Exactly. There you go.
Yeah.
You're so smart.
I work with words a lot.
If I'm slower today, it's because I had like 2 hours of sleep last night. I just couldn't.
Girl, you're on fire. Just keep it rolling.
So I wanted to, people don't know this about me. I'm like very much an introvert.
Yeah.
But
you're good at adapting and being the extrovert when you're on stage, when you need to be in the spotlight. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I get that because same.
Yeah.
Super hermity, super introverted, but very good at
hermity.
pretending to be an extrovert.
Yeah.
Because I like people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that I don't like people, but it's just like, oh, I need so much recharging after I'm social.
So much recharging.
Yeah.
100%. But the dancer in me loves
The performer.
stage.
Yeah.
Loves the microphone.
Totally.
La, 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 la. Like,
You're so happy to be here with a mic.
Like, do you see me? I'm animated.
Yeah.
Like, I feel alive again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I definitely love that. But there was a part, I think the softness was like pulling at me. Like, I want like a slower, more intimate setting where it's deeper conversations, less like mantras and motivational messaging, but like taking that and then putting that into practice.
Living it. Yeah.
And so I just did it. I don't know. I filed for an LLC and I was
it
like
$700 plus like a $22 processing fee?
It was, I don't really remember. I think I blacked out.
Not that
I
I'm
just put my
speaking from
credit card
experience.
number in and I was just like, oh my God.
Jesus, take the wheel.
People are like, Jenny, how do you always take risks? I'm like, just close your eyes and click the button.
Yeah, that's me with all of my purchases.
Yeah, seriously. That's why you wake up and you're like, why are there 100 Amazon boxes outside
Yes.
my house?
Past me was really looking out for future me, except for my finances.
Yep.
But I have a lot of cool things.
Come over.
Come on
You
down.
can see all of the things.
All of my unnecessary possessions.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. So to be totally honest with you, I wasn't certified but when I started my business, but I had been in therapy for 8 years.
That counts.
And I think so.
Yeah.
And obviously just like a total self-development, health,
And you've
wellness junkie.
You've been with so many different experts. Like I remember you saw so many different kinds of specialists when we were in San Francisco.
Yeah.
So you've been exposed, similar to my health journey, my professional journey. Like we've been around so many people. I talk about how I've basically written like 100 dissertations, just like the quantity of work that I've put out and the people I've interviewed on so many, like, but it's like so broad. I have no specialty. It's just like general wellness. But you have that experience. Like maybe there's not the, I don't know, like the PhD to put next to it, but you've been exposed to and you've studied and you've researched and you've learned and you've absorbed and experienced all that stuff. It's
Yeah. And so like, you're so right. I feel like I'm a sponge. If you're interested in something, your ears are open.
Yep.
You're available to hearing it and processing it. And when you love something and you're passionate about it, that's when you're like just already taking it in and adapting it to your life. So that's how therapy, everything that you just said, I've been taking in as much information as I can
Yeah.
forever. And so building the curriculum was just a piece of cake. I feel like it was in my brain this whole time. And
So cool.
yeah, I just launched it and it took off, which is so crazy. It just like took off and it was really successful. But I felt like I had something to prove in other areas of my life and got distracted.
Oh, interesting.
And so it was very like on, off, on, off, on, off in the sense of like it wasn't consistent. It was very part-time. And not that I regret that, but I do wish that I just went for it.
Focused.
Yeah, I just wish that I just kept going. Like what it was, the overachiever type A person in me likes to prove myself.
Yeah, totally.
And so who doesn't?
Yeah.
But yeah, and so, I didn't need to prove anything. And when you surround yourself with people that make you feel that way long enough, you will think that.
It's so true. The right network, the right support system.
Yeah.
I mean, just from the past couple weeks with, launching the show, it just was such a huge reminder of how big of an impact your network, your community, they make on your confidence levels, like what we're talking about today, like how you feel about your work, yourself, but also your ability to keep going and to focus. And that, sometimes you do need that external affirmation. I know a lot of it, we need our internal compass, our internal affirmation, to know from the inside. But it doesn't hurt when you have people who love you, reaffirming on the outside that you're doing okay, especially when you can't see it yourself.
Yes, especially in the world that we live in right now.
Yeah.
It's okay to want cheerleaders and need cheerleaders. We all do.
It's so true.
We all do. And if people are making you question or doubt yourself,
Stella,
are you mad at the people that make me feel not enough? Stella's like, I'll get them.
My dog's in the studio because she's a princess and wanted to participate.
She had things to say about that.
Is she by you?
Mm-hmm.
She's at your feet, isn't she?
She's behind me. She really felt that topic. But
she was compelled. Sorry.
No, it's okay. But yeah, so again, the pandemic really turned things around where I used that time to do a lot of self-reflection. I mean, I was alone a lot. I was in New York throughout the entire first 2 years of the pandemic. And let me tell you, that was life-altering. That was hard AF.
Yeah.
So hard. And a lot of my friends, or all my friends in New York, most of them, all of them, are from the East Coast. So they went home to their families. It's not like you can bring a friend during COVID. Well, they all would have loved to invite me.
Yeah.
I was alone in the city, literally by myself.
Yeah.
And so in that time, I realized how I was playing small. And
a lot of time for self-reflection.
yeah. And I was like, Jenny, you don't play small. That's not you.
Hell yeah, girl.
You don't play small. You're going to quit this job and you're going to run your business full time. And I was like, but really? And then I was like, no. Yeah. That sounds really, really great. And so I feel like I've always loved, I don't know why it's so hard for us to just own our gifts, but I'm a creative person. I love being creative. It's my favorite thing in the whole world. And so the fact that I get to create my day, I get to create every single thing that I do, and no one can tell me no, is the greatest gift of all time.
What amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
And, there's obviously a lot of challenges to being an entrepreneur.
Right.
Many.
So many.
But I just want to talk about all the butterflies right now because
we feel good today.
I feel really great right now. But no. And so I feel like it was it was like a trust exercise between me and myself.
Yeah, a trust fall to yourself.
Yeah. It's just you know what? We're just going to try because worst case scenario, you become a barista for a while and figure out something else. But I'd rather take the risk than not.
Yeah,
and
totally. So, you always have a backup plan. You're never going to 100% fail. You've got people in your corner.
Yeah. Oh, I had no backup plan, but.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. I've been there. Quitting with absolutely no backup plan and no intention of going back to an office. Yeah, totally.
And I'm not close to, I'm working on my relationship with my family, but they're not, I'm not the.
Tight-knit.
No.
Yeah. No.
And so I would never go live with my parents. So that's not an option for me.
Yeah,
so
there's no safety net in that way.
Yeah. So I think that had another layer of.
You got to get it done.
You know what? This is this is like, quote, risky. But I was like, you've been surviving and like living and thriving and making a name for yourself in the craziest city of all cities, most competitive cities of all cities at 23. So like, you can do this at 34. So I just like, honestly, I'm like, what would Jenny at 23 do? Because
all of it.
when you get older, it is so true that you become a little more fearful.
Yeah, because you've seen repercussions. Yeah. You've experienced them.
Yeah, you've lived through a lot too. And so it's like you don't want to go backwards. Yeah. And it's like when people are transitioning and moving jobs, they want to go forward. They want to go progress. Yeah. And it's the same when you work for yourself or make these like small and massive leaps. You want to just constantly feel like you're moving forward, even if there's like a low-hanging fruit that could provide you security and stability. Yeah. It's like I'd much rather know that I've like really lived and took like massive risks to become the person that I want to be.
Yeah. Well, it's probably also really bolstered your confidence in yourself, right? Like feeling strong and capable because you did take the risk. And I feel like even if, you know, a project or a job or something didn't succeed, you would still feel proud of yourself and thus more confident. Am I on the right track with
100%.
That one?
So I don't actually believe in failure at all. Yeah. I don't.
That's probably really helpful.
Yeah, I don't believe in it. And the reason is like, what is failure? Like, what's the worst case scenario? And like, let's say it's very black and white. Like you apply for this job and you don't get it. Right. Okay. So apply for a different job.
Yeah, totally.
Like the world moves on. It's not that you can't do what your purpose is, right? And so I'm actually working with some clients on that as well. It's like they were working for the Googles and the Facebooks and they were in tech and they were just really unhappy. Yeah. And so it's like, again, change your medium. Yeah. And so it's just, you know, it's so cheesy, but like then no realigns you to something that feels almost better
even
sometimes.
Better, yeah, totally. It kind of sounds like my therapist who's like failures, like quote unquote failures are really just lessons. Like you don't learn from your successes. It's true. Like, that's deep as hell, Dr. Newhouse.
God, is this a woman?
No, he's retired, which is like really bad for my mental health, but like really nice for him.
I was going to say, hook me up.
I know. Yeah. I totally would have. Like he's an absolute genius. Like I was going to say RIP, but I'm like, he's not dead. He's just retired and probably living his best life. He practiced for 50 years. Wow. Yeah. He's a geriatric psychiatrist and somehow I got paired with someone who's like average clientele is 80 years old.
Oh my gosh. See, this is what I say. Like when you start saying that you're 80, you start manifesting that stuff.
Yeah. So instead, we're pretending to be just 23 and
little baby cocoon.
Yeah. Blossoming butterflies. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So like jumping right back into this confidence thing, you're coaching people on how to be their most confident self, shifting their mindset into confidence. I feel like we've talked before about how certain programs, certain communities that seem like this positive, like confidence builder, underneath, it's kind of more so stoking the fires of insecurity and like making us feel like we have to look a certain way in order to be confident. I feel like you've encountered a lot of that in your career. Mm-hmm. What are we doing now? What are you doing now with Brave Babe to shift that focus and help us find authentic confidence instead of thinking we have to conform to be confident?
I love that question.
Thanks.
That's a really, really great question because I don't think I think you said it so eloquently. And
well, thank you.
I don't think people may have like seen it in that.
Yeah, it can be subversive. I mean, like I've participated in challenges and been part of communities that, you know, on the outside it seems like, oh, this is going to help me feel better about myself. I'm going to feel so confident if I do this thing, if I look this way, if I've achieved whatever, you know, end goal of this program. When really it's like, oh, that means I'm not confident right now at my like A point. I'll only be confident at the B point. And that kind of erodes your confidence in a way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Again, it's like they're hitting at your pain point of they're making you feel bad so that when you do feel better because of whatever they are
you attribute it
feeding
to them.
You,
yeah,
it's because of them. But that's
casually capitalizing on our vulnerabilities.
Yeah, no. I have so much to say about this.
Please do.
Oh my gosh. Okay, gloves are coming off. Yes. Earrings are coming out.
The hoops are out.
tits out. No, they're not. But
I just choked on my soda.
I would say, and y'all are probably like, and y'all, I say y'all because
I say y'all too.
I'm from California.
Yeah.
People in California say y'all.
My friends from Tennessee who are probably listening to this, I don't even think they say y'all. Maybe they do. Yeah, they probably do.
Yeah, I definitely say y'all.
Yeah, I say y'all.
I think I was like Southern in another life maybe. But
yeah, it's an inclusive term. Mm-hmm. You all. I don't think they realize they're being very inclusive.
Yeah, so take that.
So we were talking about programs that capitalize on our vulnerabilities. They pretend to be bolstering your confidence, and really they're kind of chipping away at it.
Yeah. So y'all have probably realized so far that you're like, wait, this woman's a coach? I'm definitely not your traditional coach. There's so many things that I don't believe that are happening, don't believe in that I see happening out there. And what I would say is, as a coach, I approach everything from the perspective of all I want the other person to experience when they work with me is their own mind.
Yeah.
So I am essentially a mirror as opposed to like shoving different beliefs and
forcing someone to adopt your beliefs.
Yeah,
right.
I don't believe in that at all. And I'm not here to tell you that I have my life together and that I'm the most confident, perfect person, because I will tell you all of the things that as to why I'm not that.
Right.
But I want to be a mirror. So that's what I do. I'm essentially helping people see themselves, and there is no me in the conversation.
Right.
And that's what bugs me so damn much.
About the other programs.
Other programs in coaching industry, fitness industry, it's like the me show.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm over it. I've been over it since way back when.
Yeah, no, I remember like even talking about a certain, I'm not going to name names or point fingers, but like you probably remember we've had conversations. I almost worked for a company and you're like, don't. Like, actually, it's like not good. I'm like, oh,
well.
Like, oh, you're probably right. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I find that there is a way. Oh my gosh, today is a big day in the country, and
we're recording on Friday the 24th, and it's a lot going on today.
Yeah. So I think a lot about leadership, because essentially what I am is a leader. Mm-hmm. And coach can be kind of a weird term, right? Because I think people can put that role as like an expert, but then you're like, what's an expert? She doesn't have a PhD. And I'm like, no, totally. I don't. You're so right.
I have a coaching certificate too, and I'm like, do people take me seriously?
Yeah. And I am certified now, by the way.
Yeah.
But I offer things when people ask me, but I don't believe in advice. I don't believe in telling people what to do. I don't believe in feeding into people's stories either. We have mind drama. So everything that I'm telling about myself or what I did today or what happened last month or year, most of it is thoughts. None of it is really facts, probably like one or two facts. Like I moved from New York to San Diego. And then everything else is fillers with all of my mind drama, you know?
Yeah.
And it's all of these things that we create. And so if we can create them, that's a very empowering thing to know, because then we can change it.
Yeah.
And that's
it's malleable.
where you feel different.
Yeah.
Yep. Mm-hmm. And that's where you have power. That's where you have control. And so that's what I want to teach people. I'm not here to teach you this is right, this is wrong, this is going to make your skin glow until you're whatever. It's just like people are selling you something that I don't think is missing. It's just you don't know how to utilize it or see it.
It's already there.
It's already there.
Yeah. Oh, that's such a good perspective. Okay, so on that point, I know you're like, I don't really give advice, and now I'm like, can you give us some advice?
I can offer. So I'll
some
offer
perspective.
I'll offer, like, if people ask.
Okay.
Like,
so
direction.
Like if I'm asking?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because I'm like, all right, the number one question on our minds, most of our minds, is like, why am I insecure about X, Y, or Z? And how do I get over that and feel more confident? I think everyone, I mean, I don't want to paint with a broad brush, but I feel like everyone wants to be a little more confident. I don't know many people who are like, I'm perfectly happy with how confident I am in every area of my life. Like my relationship life, how I feel about myself, my finances, my home life, my career. Like everyone's got a point that feels like an insecurity to them. Everyone wants to be a little more confident. But how? Like that's the big question. That's why all these other
for years. I have so much to say. But I will say I'm trying to collect all my thoughts. I have ADHD, so I'm watching all my thoughts fly away. I'm like, no, come back. Come back here.
TikTok thinks I have ADHD too. They tell
TikTok
me every
needs
day.
to stop with that.
They are
pushing it,
pathologizing my life.
It's
like
horrible.
I'm like, am I neurodivergent?
Oh my God,
squirrel. But yeah, totally.
Squirrel.
Yeah.
So, one, what does that even mean to you?
What does confidence mean? Okay, I'm going to write this down.
Nobody can answer that question when I ask my clients that. They have no idea what that actually looks like for themselves because confidence for me could look very different from confidence.
Okay, I actually have an answer. Maybe we could workshop this right now. So for anyone listening at home, I am writing down in my journal, and if you have a journal too, what does confidence mean to you? It's like a really great starting point. Thank you, Jenny. I'm going to workshop this with you right now.
Let's do it.
Confidence to me means higher rejection resilience. And this is a concept, I don't know if it exists elsewhere. I didn't copy this from anyone, but I don't think I invented it. I talk about this with one of my closest friends, the idea that you are not so scared of rejection that it keeps you from doing certain things. I am so afraid of rejection that I won't ask a hotel lobby worker if I can use their bathroom when I'm on a walk because I'm like, what if they say no? It is the dumbest thing, but it bleeds into so many areas of my life where I don't want to be rejected. And in my mind, being more confident is having a higher rejection resilience so I can go chase something, even with the biggest risk that I will be rejected for something that I really want, like much higher stakes than can I pee in your toilet in this hotel lobby. So that to me is confidence, like being able to like go out there and not worry so much about what other people think or like the idea of being rejected.
Okay. So what you focus on grows, right? And so there are a couple of things that I want to add in before I answer your question. One, confidence isn't a static state. It's a feeling, okay? So our feelings come from our thoughts. So if you want to feel confident, you have to think things that generate a feeling of confidence in your body.
Ah, okay.
Now, rejection is what? It's a feeling. It's a feeling in your body.
Of not being enough.
Yeah. That's the thought that generates that feeling.
Yeah.
And so when we are running away from feelings like rejection or embarrassment, humiliation, fear, failure, when we run away from those feelings, we're saying, I'm not capable of handling that.
Oh.
And so the secret, you guys are about to get the craziest secret of life. It's going to change your life. But if you're willing to feel any emotion, you can do anything. And so when you dumb it down, literally like break it down to what it is, rejection is literally physical sensations in your body.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to you in your body?
Okay, let me think about the last time I was rejected. I haven't applied to a job in a long time.
Maybe like pit in your stomach?
Yeah, pit in the stomach for sure. Oh, cheeks getting hot, like embarrassment, kind of like that. Like,
flush.
Yeah, flush, like hot face, adrenaline kind of surge, like I have to run away, right? Or fake my own death. Yeah, that like heart palpitations.
Okay.
Does that sound...
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's my body, so I don't know how it sounds to you.
I mean, I experienced something similar, but what's wrong with that?
Yeah, it's we have to this is like such a trope, but like the whole getting comfortable being uncomfortable, like it's true.
Yeah, and it's just being like, what am I feeling? Instead of being like, oh, I'm feeling rejection and saying it's rejection, but like what is it actually in your body?
Right.
Because when you say it's rejection, it's as if it's this monster that's coming out of the closet chasing you.
We create a narrative.
Yeah, and then it becomes something so much bigger than it needs to be. But if you're like, oh, I just feel a pit in my stomach and I'm really hot and I feel like queasy.
Okay.
And then I can be like, okay, I can handle that
Yeah.
for 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, if we focus on like the physical, let's say like we go into the narrative though.
And so this is the difference.
Yeah, right?
So,
like I'm not good enough for this job. I wasn't good enough for whatever reason. Like there's something wrong with me where I'm not allowed to use the hotel lobby bathroom. I don't know.
So our mind is so fascinating, and I love learning about the brain. And the brain is wired to keep us safe, and belonging is like, I think, number one. Community is number one in terms of safety.
Yeah.
Our brain is wired to keep us safe. And so rejection, there was this study, I forgot who did it, that was done on rats actually. And when they feel rejection, it's actual physical pain in their body, like pain. And that we feel it as well. And it's just because we're so hardwired to survive.
Yeah.
And, if we were to go back hundreds, thousands of years, we relied on communities to stay alive. And so here's the secret sauce. Rejection isn't the problem. What you're making rejection mean is the problem.
Because it's not about our safety anymore, most of the time.
Well, yeah. And so because you were rejected, let's say by a job or by someone at the hotel lobby that said, no, you can't pee in here. What are you making that mean about you, though?
Yeah. That's the thing. I can't make it mean anything. Like, can I use your bathroom? Like, why does that no trigger that fear response, right? Like that I have to run away response.
Yeah. Well, so normally, like, people internalize the no as something is wrong with me, or I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, yada, yada, yada. And when we do that, we're just reconfirming and re-solidifying and making that belief stronger. So a thought is something that happens. We have 40 to 60,000 thoughts a day, and it floats in and it floats out and it floats in and it floats out.
We have 60,000 thoughts a day?
Oh, yeah, girl.
Christ. Okay.
It's a party going on in there all the time.
I knew it was a million internet tabs. I just knew it.
It's just like, woo!
Yeah,
lots. But it's just so interesting that we continue to pick the same ones, right?
And on repeat.
So that's what's called a thought loop. And when it repeats and we repeat it, when you focus on it, that's when it becomes a belief.
Okay. Wow.
And that's when you identify, like your identity is now in this, and you think it's you. Like you think like, I'm not creative. Like that's who I am because one kid told me this in 5th grade, and then
that's my life story now.
It's my life story.
My villain origin story.
I've repeated it long enough that I'm not creative, so I can't do creative things. And
I'm having like therapy level epiphanies right now. Like I'm not gonna like unload personally, but there's stuff. There's the 60,000 thoughts going off in my brain right now.
She's stuck.
That I'm like, oh wow, like the thought loop that has become a belief that has fed into this like fear of rejection, which erodes confidence. That is wild.
So so like let's say people want to be confident and they don't want to experience rejection. And what I have to say to that is then you don't really want to be confident.
Yeah.
If you're confident, you don't give a fuck. Sorry if I can't say that word.
You can say whatever you want.
If you're rejected.
Yeah.
And mind you, like confidence again is a feeling, so it comes and goes. It's not like it's a person. It's not a state of being. It's comes and goes. And so, I don't want anyone to think that like you're supposed to just land there and you're forever there. But it's, again, like when a thought becomes a belief, it's you tap in faster, it's stronger.
It's hard to break.
And it's like less work, right? So when you are really building confidence and it gets stronger, it does become more automatic.
Okay.
Than operating out of insecurities.
Yeah.
So the thing with confidence, you can talk about it all day, but the only way to build confidence is in the action of it. So let's say I'm trying to Actually, I am trying to do this right now, but I haven't gone out, so that's making this a little difficult. But my goal is to just go up to guys at bars, on the street, anywhere, and just, if I think they're attractive, just like talk to them. Because
I'm staring at you like, what?
I know, like how crazy
people do
is
that?
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Because anyways, the story as to why it is irrelevant. But if I don't have the confidence to do that, I can't just like sit here and like build the will to like finally just like
muster the courage.
Yeah.
It's an active practice.
It's an active practice.
Okay.
So the more I do it, the more confident I am. So
Yeah.
there's a difference between self-confidence and confidence.
Okay.
Self-confidence is when you haven't done something before.
Mm-hmm.
So I haven't run my own business full-time before. So in order to do that, I have to build this inner trust, confidence, courage, bravery, self-confidence to do it.
Belief in yourself.
Yeah, because
Okay.
I've never done it before.
Okay.
And so confidence is based on prior experiences.
Okay.
I
So
can
you
ride
can't
a
get that.
stationary bike and you know, in my sleep
Right.
and
be damn good at it.
be until I'm 80
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
and be damn good at it. And I'm very confident in that because I did it for so long.
But you can't get that without getting out there and doing
Yes.
something. Okay. So self-confidence, believing in yourself before you've even done something,
Mm-hmm.
right? And general confidence is, I know I'm good at this because I've done it. This is good.
Yeah. And so to get to self-confidence, which clearly is more challenging, it's focusing on pumping up, volume up on the areas that you're already confident.
Okay.
And when trying something like talking to a guy, start in a way that's like less, like using my example, like less like direct of me just going up to some guy at a bar, like me talking to the waiter and saying, thanks, how was your day? Like
Okay.
finding
Baby
like
steps.
Baby steps
Okay.
to
Build
just build up to it.
Right. Okay. So if you get knocked down at a baby step, it's not like a colossal feeling of, I guess, rejection, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. And then you're like, oh, wait, that was kind of fun. Or like,
yeah. You
or
get-
it was just nice to have a conversation with
Yeah.
a human being.
You get a little like social
Yeah.
high, little bump up. Okay. Yes. Love that. So I'm coming back to this idea of like doing these baby steps to overcome this insecurity. And the insecurity, from what I'm gathering, is coming from a feeling of not being enough in some capacity, not being smart enough, pretty enough, rich enough, like whatever it is, like successful enough, like it's not being enough of something. Is that a common theme that you've noticed as well?
Yes. I think that if we were to like dive into everyone's souls, like that is the deep fear that we might not be.
Yeah, I'm not enough. And
Not enough,
if I'm not enough, I'm not safe.
Exactly.
Okay. So it's a matter of rejecting the narrative that you're not enough and reminding yourself that you are safe, but like also no one is 100% safe.
Well, yeah. And safety is, again, a thought and a feeling that you create.
Yeah.
It's not a place. It's not a,
This is like a Sunday sermon.
yeah, it's not a dollar amount. It's
Yeah.
not like, as we've learned and as I've really learned in the past year, is like, I was telling my clients this literally this week
Yes.
on our group call. Everything that you can have can disappear tomorrow, today. And so we don't talk about this enough as adults or like as, you know, in school or as parents, like we should be telling our kids that life is, whether we like it or not, ever changing. So like, let's think of it from a friend's perspective. When I was in San Francisco, the amount of people that moved in and out of that city in 5 years,
The turnover.
was insane.
Yeah.
Like I had core groups of girlfriends and then all of a sudden a year later, gone, every single one of them. And so it's like, we think, oh my gosh, I've built this community. I finally feel so good. I found this cycling class where
Yeah.
I feel like I belong. And then a year later, the
don't.
studio's not there anymore, or it's not the same instructor list, or like everything changes. And so basically what I'm saying is we get attached, and instead of saying like, this is my safety, like I am building a sense of safety within myself, and I'm appreciating all of these things that are aligning and feel really good while I have them,
Yeah.
instead of being like, dang, I really wish that I could go back to those times where
Right.
we all lived in the same city, or my friend didn't have her boyfriend and
Yeah.
everyone has babies, you know?
Yeah.
It's just
Been there. Yeah.
because that's going to happen. It just always, it's inevitable.
What this is reminding me of, and this is just how my brain is processing what you're telling me. It's like, okay, yes, we like to have people in our lives who keep us going, that little bit of like external feeling of safety in this case, but we need it on the inside. And I'm thinking right now about the time that I ran a half marathon when there were like no cheerleaders on the outside. And it was the first time I realized how important they were, how important like those random strangers holding signs that are like, if Brittany made it through 2008, you can make it through 13 miles, like, cheering you on. Like, I didn't realize how important that was to me until I didn't have that, which reminded me of the value of that, like, external feeling, whether it's of safety or support or love or whatever. But I still got through the race itself. Like, I didn't need it to like get through and to make it and to keep running. Like, that was all inside. And it's like a weird way of processing it.
No, I think that's a great example because we think that it's because of those people we got through.
Yeah.
But we're not giving ourselves any credit.
No credit.
And when you don't give yourself credit, no wonder you don't have confidence.
Yeah.
Because you're saying it's because of these people that you got through.
Right.
No. Like, yes, having a support system, obviously.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
It's beautiful, and I want everyone to have one. Literally, I wish I could give them out. So this question always comes down to, especially with my clients and with myself, it's like, at the end of the day, if everything was taken away from you, would you be okay? And I ask my clients this, and like by the end of our time working together, it's an emotional question because they're in a positive way because they say yes. Yeah. And it's something that they had never felt before. And it's not something that, is going to come from like being with yourself for 30 minutes in the woods. Like, this is an ongoing practice of, again, like trust falls, trust exercises within yourself, and really, honestly, giving yourself the credit that you deserve. Every single one of you out there listening right now, you know who you are. Yeah. Because nobody likes to give themselves credit, especially women.
Yeah, we're afraid of being like narcissistic or too into ourselves or whatever it is.
Yeah, and every time you downplay yourself, you are creating a lack of trust.
Wow. Yeah.
And you're feeding into the lack of worthiness. Like, you are just creating this cycle. And so this, like, I'm sorry to keep bringing up because this is all related weirdly to like all of the things that I was talking about this week with some of my clients. But another one of my clients was talking about how she has this behavior that is like self-sabotaging. And I asked her why she does it. And she was like, honestly, I don't know. And there are so many situations where we're all doing that to ourselves because it's just familiar. It's just what we know. Again, patterns and habits. Yeah. And we aren't taught to unlearn all of the things that we've learned in childhood. And
we aren't even aware that some things need to be unlearned.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
you don't know what you don't know.
So separating, so like moral of the story, like separating yourself from social media for periods of the day and friends and family and having that quiet time with yourself, even if it's 10 minutes, like in the shower, putting your hands on your heart and just like being with yourself.
So many people are afraid of this, I've realized.
So scary.
Yeah.
But like what you'll find is that fear is not going to kill you. Mm-hmm. And if you just drop into your body and just like feel the weight of your bones into your feet and into the ground, and you just breathe, all of a sudden you feel more calm than you've probably felt in the week, last month, last year.
I'm going to do that today.
Yeah. I do a lot of my like self-work in the shower now that I'm thinking about it.
Shower's a fun time.
Yeah.
I got like a pink shower speaker for like some fun music. Yeah. I'll send you the Amazon link.
I need that.
But like I put plants in there, some crystals, like totally, I tricked out the shower.
Yes. Yes. Like whatever works for you.
Yeah,
but
it's your alone time.
Yeah. And, habit stacking where you're adding something to something you're already doing is why it's
Atomic Habits.
Easier. Yeah, exactly. Yes. But it's like I'm always going to shower. So like if I'm in there, it's like, oh yeah, this is what I do in the shower.
Yeah, do my mental work. Mm-hmm. Love that. Okay, so we've been chatting for a bit, and I don't want to take up more of your time. But I have a couple.
Talk to you all day.
I know, like this is going to be a 7-hour podcast. I have 2 questions. I'll try to make them quick from listeners. I'm very excited about this.
Yeah.
So our first caller, our first listener, Sarah in Knoxville, Tennessee. For those who haven't felt confident in a long time, we've been stuck. She was talking about being kind of forced to be stagnant through COVID. We've been stuck for a while. How do we navigate growth and change after being stuck for so long? How do we get those wheels back in motion to see that change we want to see in ourselves?
Mm-hmm. I think, so I love this quote, there isn't better than here.
Ooh.
And I think this is the bigger story too for all of us is that, once I do this, like
I'll be happy.
feel better.
Yeah.
And once I'm out of my house from the pandemic and my life is moving forward, I'll feel better. And it's only going to feel better because you're telling yourself that. But then as soon as you get there, the thoughts are going to change, and then your reality is going to be more of the same, and then you're going to need to get somewhere else. But there, whether it's $1 million, house, kids, beautiful dog, Stella, isn't better than here. It's just you think about it differently. So, for example, weight loss is a really easy example.
Yeah.
I
think a lot of people in post, I guess, lockdown COVID, I guess we're still technically in COVID. A lot of people post-lockdown are like still dealing with physical body issues.
Yeah. So like, let's use weight loss as an example. So if the goal is to lose 10 pounds because I think I'm going to like my body more, when I lose 10 pounds, I like my body more because I'm thinking about my body differently.
Right.
But then my thoughts, again, probably will change and I'll worry about gaining it back or want to lose more. And so nothing is ever enough if we have this mentality of I need to get somewhere.
Like I lack something to be happy.
So what I would suggest, and this is something that I've been practicing myself, is not where I want to go, but where do I want to be right now? Like what makes me feel really good now?
How do I want to feel?
Yeah. Like moving my body, hanging out with awesome people. Like I'm in the first 6 months of this year, tangent, I was sick with COVID.
Yep.
Like very sick, very, very sick. And so I feel like I kind of didn't really experience anything but COVID for the first 6 months of this year. And so the rest of this year is all about play and just joy. Yeah. Like I went to the fair, I rode every ride. Like I was so 10 years old and it was the greatest thing in my life. So, it's less about like where you're trying to go and just making like, how can you make the best of this moment right now? Because maybe this is really awesome, because the more you're focusing on what's in front of you, you're missing this moment.
Yeah.
And when you're focusing on this moment, you're getting closer to the longer goals.
Love that. You can change your perspective now.
Yeah.
To get unstuck.
If you want to lose the weight or if you want to get back into moving and grooving again post-pandemic,
if you're panini.
you might get overwhelmed by that. You might like try to go to a class that you did before the pandemic and you are nowhere near that athletic ability, and then you feel worse and you go home and you binge on food.
Yep.
So having this goal can sometimes self-sabotage us and make us feel worse, as opposed to what does like getting moving and motivated mean for me right now that's actually tangible? Because that's going to get you to the bigger goal of like, your life moving forward and growing and all that
Feeling
stuff.
like you're in motion again.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
And in control.
Yeah. Okay. Second caller. I like pretending this is a radio show. I'm making sure.
We should have a radio show.
It would be so fun. Okay. From Avery in Panama City Beach, Florida. Hi, Avery.
What's up, Avery?
Okay. She says, I just started a new job. Huge leap in the role, responsibilities, and salary than the previous job. Do you have any advice on how I can remain confident and appear confident in my abilities while I am in the thick of the learning stages?
Yes. Be honest.
Yeah.
Be messy. When you don't know something, own it. People find that confident as opposed to pretending that you know. And then later, like,
discovering that shit hit the fan behind the
shit
scenes.
hit the fan, and then you're really in trouble. But like, I find confidence is when someone's like, you're right, I totally messed up, or I don't know what that is, but I will figure it out. And so
self-awareness and ownership.
Transparency. Like, be authentic, be genuine, and show that that is what's going to make you the best for this role. Because the more honest you're about what you don't know, then you have all this information that you're going to learn, and that's what's going to give you the power in the role to be the most confident, as opposed to pretending you don't and then never learning it.
And then it's what you were saying about like, you'll get that experience, that practice, and then you'll have the confidence from that practice.
Yep.
You're building that muscle, just like exercise.
Yes.
Jenny, this was so wonderful. if listeners, when our listeners want to find more from you, hear more from you, work with you, all that good stuff, where can they keep working this confidence muscle?
I love that. You can visit me on the gram. I'm really into reels these days. It's just at Jenny Gaither.
Love the reels.
I literally am like, I'm a cinematographer. And bravebabecoaching.com is where you'll find all of my coaching stuff. And I just started a blog on there. So my email list and my blog will have a lot of like resources and stuff similar to what we talked about today and more that's like free. And so I just,
all there.
Would love to connect.
And upcoming podcast.
Correct.
Yeah. Dive Deep with Jenny.
I'm starting a podcast. Y'all.
Y'all.
I know. I feel like I haven't like really fully
launched.
No, just like process that's happening, but it's totally happening.
Okay, cool.
And so look out for that. Yeah. Dive Deep with Jenny Gaither.
I'm very excited. Available where podcasts can be found.
Yeah. So my like secret power is like my vulnerability. And so get ready for great stories.
Oh, yeah.
Like how I got stuck in Mexico with COVID.
Oh,
and
yeah.
how I escaped.
Oh, my God. I'm really excited for this, actually. Because I haven't even heard this full story.
It's good.
Okay, good. Oh, Stella wants to participate.
Oh,
hi, baby.
She's ready.
Jenny, we love you.
I love you so much. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
You're a rock star.
You're a rock star. Wouldn't be here without you.
I'm inspired.
Ditto.
Always.
Thank you, sister.
Heart you.
We're so grateful you've tuned in today. How incredible was that coaching from Jenny? I personally took hella notes, and I am going to be referring back. I hope you get out there and start doing your confidence exercises because you deserve to feel good. You deserve to feel proud of yourself, confident in who you are, and happy in your skin. It's definitely not going to happen overnight unless you're a warlock or Zendaya. Probably not even Zendaya, though. She's a Virgo. We struggle in this territory. So yeah, probably just a warlock. Anyway, we'd love to hear from you and know what you want to learn next. Coaching, therapy, candid convos, taboo topics, educational sessions, you name it. Drop us a line at I'm Fine, IMFINE, no apostrophe, at thisisfinepodcast.com. All right, we love you. We believe in you. Go forth, little butterflies. Dance in the wind. Bye. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of This Is Fine. I've been your host, Dominique Michelle Astorino. We're based in San Diego, recording in studio at DLI Productions in Pacific Beach with Emmy Award-winning sound designer Dan De La Isla. This is a comedy and advice podcast, but for legal reasons, this entire podcast is a joke and none of it is medical advice. To download the transcript or learn more, visit thisisfinepodcast.com.